if you feel shame for 1 second, it's the oldest trick in the book. If he cannot get you to be productive, he's going to make you feel like you will self-implode. Half of the people that don't experience abundant life are living in their mind. They're just genuinely trapped inside their mind of what they think of themselves or what they think other people think of them. Get out of your head, start living out loud, and just stop believing the enemy.
Hey there. Welcome to Season 5 of Stories Unveiled, the podcast where we believe every story matters because every story reveals the faithfulness of God. Here, we have honest conversations about the ordinary moments, the unexpected detours, and the life-altering heartbreaks that shape us. Each episode, our guests courageously share their journeys, reminding us that even in our messiest seasons, Jesus is present and at work. Together, we'll hold hardship in one hand and hope in the other as we uncover God's story woven through our own. I'm Ashley Sears, and I'm so grateful you're here. Today, I am so excited to welcome Candace Payne to the podcast. Many of you may know her as the woman behind the viral Chewbacca Mom video back in 2016, but there's so much more to her story than a moment on the internet. Candace is a speaker, author, and passionate follower of Jesus who has spent years encouraging people to choose joy, embrace authenticity, and trust God through every season of life. Her story is filled with laughter, honesty, and a deep reminder that God often uses the most unexpected moments for his glory. I am so grateful she's here to share her heart with us today. Candace, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited that I'm here with y'all today.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I want to dive right in because you have maybe one of the most unique stories, at least that I've had here on the Stories Unveiled podcast, in the way that I obviously knew who you were. The rest of the world probably knew who you were long before you met all of these people along your journey. But was it 2016? Is that when it was? In 2016, correct. You took a trip to Kohl's in the town that you were living. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, I've talked about this. Can we believe it's been 10 years now?
10
years. Right?
Yeah.
Right?
10
I
years.
think we've all lived maybe like 8 generations worth of living in 10 years. But it was just my birthday week and I was returning something because it didn't fit. And it wasn't like because it was too small. It was actually too big on me. And so that was a victory in and of itself. But I remember, back in the day, I was a mom of a, first grader, kindergartner. It was such different times than I'm living now with mom of a teen, 2 teens. But it was just one of those days. It was in the middle of the week and you're trying to think, how can I do something fun for myself? I've got this small limited amount of time and couldn't find anything I wanted for myself. And so I headed over to the actual toy section, like every mom does. You're like, well, maybe I can pick something up fun for the kids, And I tell you, I bumped into that mask and it huffed and growled. And I was like, I've had some tacos, but that is not me. There is something else going on around here. So I ended up picking it up, and it had a red sticker. And I ask people this all the time. I've been asking people for 10 years. Do you know what a red sticker actually is? Like what that means when you see a red sticker on something and you're shopping?
Yeah, like clearance, right?
No, everybody gets it wrong. It's the Lord's approval stamp. Like he says, here, it's yours. Like you don't need to pray about it. You just get it. Like if it's red sticker, God's already said yours. Why are you talking? Why are you talking and negotiating? Like get it. Right. So it had a red sticker. And so I walked up to the front singing the doxology and bought that thing for myself. And by the time I actually
for yourself, right. You bought a Chewbacca mask for yourself.
Hold on. It was my birthday week.
That's true.
Why do my kids need to get, excuse me, it was my week. And so anyway, so I got it for myself and I ended up having like another couple more errands to run. And by the time that I had finished with those, I only had like maybe a window of 30 minutes to just play with it. And if you can remember back in 2016, Facebook Live was a new thing. Like it was not as accessible to just go live. Like, first of all, when you're thinking go live, I remember feeling like I'm not Barbara Walters. What is so important that anybody should have access to this button? What are we on the scene reporting about right now that we all feel like I'm worthy? Give me a live access button. Sure, let's go. But yet I thought it was kind of comically amusing. And so I was like, well, hey, I've got something that I'm going to share as my birthday gift to myself, you know? Thank you. And so I got on there, no agenda, nothing to really do other than just to share, hey, I found this and it's funny and fun to play with and let's enjoy it together. And before I knew what privacy settings were, um, because those are real. That night, it had reached about 1 million views, close to 1 million views before I went to bed. And I mean, I had friends that I hadn't spoken to in 15 years reaching out. They're like, what
Wow.
is this? Are you okay? Like, do we need to do an intervention? What's happening with your life? And I was like, what are you talking about? Get off my Facebook. I was like, I'm not even friends with you. You know what I mean? Like, and then I realized, oh no, everybody's seeing this. And I thought the night that it went viral, I may reach 1 million views. And at that point, think in 2016, now we've got to look backwards. That would have been the definition of a viral video is 1 million views or higher. Well, with TikTok and everything else that's come out since then, you could sneeze and get 1 million views for some of these videos. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
at that point, I went to bed joking, you know, and I was like, I might go viral. Little did I know, I woke up the next morning with not only passing 1 million views, but I had 23 million views overnight while I was sleeping. And it became, to this day, still the most viewed viral live video for Facebook of all time. And I mean, like that record just hasn't been broken since then.
Oh my
And probably
gosh.
because people realized they weren't Barbara Walters and didn't need to get on live and didn't need to share everything, you know. I think maybe that's why it slowed down a little bit. People were like, I'm not going live. Why am I going to do that? You
That
know?
is
So,
so crazy. And I mean, I just
yeah.
have to say, because like we'll put you can still find it, right? It's all over YouTube
Oh,
and
yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
everywhere.
You want to talk about finding it? Oh, let me just tell you real quick. I had some foresight from the Holy Spirit in all of this. I'm not even going to lie about it. I licensed the video within about 10 hours of the next day waking up and realizing it was going crazy, like it was snowballing. I only licensed it because I realized that somebody could take my likeness or my image and put it to some not savory activities.
Yeah.
And so I thought, I've got 2 young kids. I'm a Christian lady. Like we are not they ain't gonna play with this. That is no. So I just haphazardly was like, I had 2 or 3 people reach out that are in the viral video space, and they're like, we can license this. And I'm like, sure, do it. Protect me is all I was really thinking. But because it's been protected, now I kind of get these reports of when people have like ripped it or used it. Oh, people just like doing stuff with that video.
That's wild.
And I think the craziest thing I could think was, I don't know if you remember Songify, but they would take a viral video and they would put it to like this electronical song, and they would take quotes from the video and it would become like a banger. It would be this hit, you know?
Oh,
And they songified my video, and it's probably still one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. Like I love it more than my video. Like I just laughed. I'm like, okay, that's gold. That if
your
nothing else happened from that moment, that was worth it.
oh my gosh. Okay, but that video in and of itself is hilarious. I showed my
Oh,
children. So
crazy.
I have 3 kids, and my oldest, I was telling you earlier, is almost 21. And so she doesn't remember because this was 10 years ago. You know, she was
Yeah,
10. And
right.
I showed my kids and they were like, what is this?
Oh, I'm so glad you said, what is this, and not what is wrong with her? Because that's like the natural progression of what is this? And then what's wrong with her?
My
Mom.
favorite part of the video, Candace, is when you're talking, but then when you open your mouth to laugh, Chewbacca
Yeah.
is like doing his Wookiee sound. Like it's unreal. You have to watch it. So we are gonna actually put the link to find the YouTube
Yeah.
video in this episode because it's too funny if you've never seen it. And for those that are listening that have heard it and seen it, you know.
Oh, Oh, yeah. It's 4 minutes almost. Think of that. We don't watch anything past like seconds now. If it's
Right.
more than 4 seconds, we're dipping out so fast. We're like swipe. But for that time, a 4 minute video where roughly only about 40 seconds of that are me talking and communicating as an adult. The rest is just pure insane laughter and me losing it, like trying to not pee my pants. And that is honest truth. And what's even funnier is there's like a couple of moments that happen in the video where you think I'm going to gather, my sensibilities and just stop. But I couldn't because I would see some of my friends comment that I couldn't make them laugh ever. You know what I mean? Like they were humor snobs and I know it and they know it and they just need to get over themselves. That's all I think. But they were putting like the laughing emoji and they were typing in and I was like, yes, I got them, finally. So, I mean, for me, it was one of those rare times where I just lost my mind for about a good 4 minutes and decided that I would go live, losing it, and then share it up with the whole world, apparently.
The
So,
world. Yep.
the world.
Well, and now here you are 10 years later, and
Hmm.
you, I'm assuming, had no clue sitting in your car that day doing that video would catapult you to the places you have gone and where you are now. Am I right in assuming that?
You're right to assume that with how it would flesh out, but you know what it's like when you are a believer.
Mm-hmm.
I think that God always just kind of prepares you for moments that he's going to like lead you through. And I had actually been living a year prior to that, what I call my Esther year,
Uh-huh.
where the first 6 months, because I use my birthday as my personal New Year.
Okay.
So, like, I don't like New Year's Day is too crowded over here in America. We're all just getting to the gym and doing stupid stuff and trying to be holy and like, I'm gonna read the whole Bible this year. Girl, you ain't read it. We know it's either Genesis to maps or you just, give up. Like, pick out your verses, be that same person the rest of your life. We'll know about it. But everybody's ambitious. Well, I just thought it's too crowded. I'm going to start using my birthday in May as my personal New Year and do some things. So the year leading up to that moment, I had actually asked God on the flip side, not, hey, could you bless what I'm doing this year? But I asked him, what do you want me to do this year?
Hmm.
Like, what is this going to look like? What is this year going to look like? And I really felt like that there was just this really holy kind of moment where God was telling me, I'm going to lead you like I've led Esther. Like, I'm going to take the first 6 months of this year and I'm going to just kind of take out some impurities from
Hmm.
you and just like remove some idolatry stuff that you've just been struggling with. Is going to be done. And then the second half of the year, I'm going to make you beautiful to the rest of the world. And so I was just kind of like, when you were walking with the Lord, yes, some things can feel as though they're surprising, but we're never really surprised.
Yeah.
Like when God does something, he gives us a heads up of some sort if we're near him, if we listen to him, if we're leaning in.
Yeah.
So I didn't expect that it would be, a week later I'd be in the carpool karaoke with James Corden and JJ Abrams. I couldn't have had that on my radar, right? But I knew that God was about to make me beautiful to the world because I felt like this is where I'm walking. This is where I'm with the Lord already, you know?
Yeah. 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 I actually didn't know that you were on Carpool Karaoke. I know that you've been on, were you on Good Morning America or like
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. It was
you
on Good
were,
Morning America. It was great. I just showed up to do an interview and then they liked me behind scenes and behind the camera and they were like, "Do you want to throw to commercials? Do you want to start throwing to commercials?" And I'm like, did I just prove that I could do live TV now by doing that stupid little video? I am not prepared for this, but let's go. Okay, so back to you. I had no clue what I was doing. It was a fun experience, but no, I couldn't have never guessed any of that.
that was not on your 2016 bingo card for sure.
No, no, not anybody's. No,
I love that. I love that. Well, so 10 years.
yeah.
Where have you grown? I mean, I'm sure in enormous
Wow.
amounts, but like where have you grown? Like you have kids now. You said they were little then. You have
Hmm.
teenagers.
Hmm.
Like how has this changed your life?
Well, I think that this honestly was the beginning of just kind of maybe pulling back the curtain to the Wizard of Oz. I mean, I feel like I had had a call to ministry when I was 12 years old. I didn't really understand. I felt like I was more available than I was kind of coded with a job description. You know what I mean? Like I felt like, here I am, Lord, send me wherever and however you like. And I spent most of my life kind of really living that out. And so I never really felt set on what that would look like in ministry. So I had a lot of different jobs that were either youth group interning or worship leading or doing children's ministry services or working on staff doing their creative, whatever that they were trying to do to figure out how to put words on the screens because they were moving from small church to big church living, or they
Yeah.
adopted a contemporary service. And I was the only young one that figured out a computer before the rest of them. I mean, it's like you had Jim in the sound booth with me that had his crossword puzzles and couldn't care less about what was going on. And I'd be like, I'll volunteer. I'll do it. Because I told the Lord at 12 I would. But I never really had an idea of what full-time ministry could have looked like for me because I've always felt like a jack of many trades and somebody that had a lot of interests and a lot of creativity and a lot of humor and a lot of wit and whimsy and a lot of depth at the same time. Like I balance deep and shallow every day. Honestly, I can go from back and forth all the time. And so you try giving that a job description in the church and they don't know what to do with you. So for me, I was really feeling like that moment just opened up an opportunity for me to see behind the curtain of, Candace, if you weren't necessarily fitting into a job description or a ministry job description, what would you want to do? Like, let's pull back the curtain on this mystery that you've been trying to figure out for years and really just what do you think your unique gifts and skill sets are? And let's do those things. I'm just giving you the door open,
Yeah.
And so that's what I've been walking through the past 10 years. And along with that, a late diagnosis, like a lot of women are finding out, of ADHD and neurodiversity. And, you find some in your family and you're like, oh, well, let's follow the trail. Led back here, led to me. Thank you. I'm patient zero. And so that really kind of put a lot of things into perspective as well with even my identity that I couldn't figure out. I just there was not enough acknowledgement the fact that God has wired people differently. And listen, we all know that he knit us together in our mother's womb. We know that passage, right?
Yeah.
But we don't have a lot of teaching or a lot of biblical counsel or biblical leadership telling us that his knitting is not wrong. Like here's the deal. I can pick up a crochet hook today and go to town. I can make you a cardigan or I can make you a scarf or I can make you a bookmark. There's a lot I can do with some yarn and a hook. And I feel like we are absolutely ignorant sometimes to how God knits people together. And we like to put labels like that's either right or that's wrong. And so we look at God's masterpiece and go, I don't like what that one is. And all the while he used the same substance in all of us. So I just finding out those things over the past 10 years while given opportunity to walk into ministry, however and wherever I feel like the Lord's leading me, has grown me up. And I would say in the last 10 years, I'm a much more fun grown up than I've been probably my entire life. So
I love that. Actually, two things really hit home. You said in full-time ministry, and a lot of times I think people think that full-time ministry has to look a certain way, like in a church, like volunteering or paid staff, vocational ministry, right? Like I work at a church, so I'm in ministry, but what you're doing is ministry. And what I'm doing is ministry. And neither one of us work in a church or get paid on full-time staff at a church, right? Like we are bringing a message of hope, and you are bringing joy and hope to the world, and you're not shying away from your beliefs and what you believe and who you believe God is in your life. And I just think that that's amazing because that is not a one size fits all ministry.
No.
And the other thing that you said, I absolutely love because I have 3 kids, and my middle son was diagnosed on the autism spectrum when he was 3 years old. And he is wired different. He's just wired different. And we've said that to him since we got his diagnosis, because he's always known. We've just always talked about it, and it's just funny because it's like you just put into words for me something so much easier and very tangible. All I've ever really been able to say, because haven't really had the words is like, God wired all of us and none of it is wrong. You're just wired different than your brother Levi, right? Or your sister Abby. And and Abby and Levi are wired differently, and how you process things and think about things. He thinks outside of the box all of the time. And so it's just funny, but that yarn analogy is like so perfect, right? Like God is working with all the same things to create each and every one of us. And yet none of us are the same. We're all so different, and it's on purpose.
Absolutely. And I would definitely say that, obviously, learning about my own neurodiversity, which you're going to hear me say a lot intentionally, neurodiversity and not neurodivergence. Divergence means, in the root core of that word, it just means that you're doing something right or wrong.
Right.
You've diverted. You've diverted from the path, the one that you're supposed to be on. You went a different place.
Yeah.
And diversity really speaks to, hey, it's just, there's some different things going on here. And I really feel like one of the biggest things that I started walking out of in that year, 2015, before that video, that Esther year, one of those idolatry things that I had to have removed from me was just going back to shame, just like running to, I'm the worst. I can't get my life together. I can't get this together. I have big dreams I never accomplish. I don't, why don't I finish things, And little did I know, ADHD is up here, just wreaking havoc, going, why finish things when you can start something again? It'll be amazing and more fun. Let somebody else finish it, and I'm like, okay, that sounds better, and so, I constantly was trying to already fight that little goblin in my head saying you are shameful when you're wrong, and you can't do things and think things and process things out like the average person can. And you see these breadcrumbs of all the things around you that are proof of it. And really, you talk about accelerated learning. To go from obscurity to completely known overnight, and to manage flights and getting places on time and being on a set somewhere and then showing up, and then I still have to get my kids taken care of, and I still got to be mom and wife. And I literally jumped in from zero to now I am a business owner and an entrepreneur for a job that I didn't even know that I needed to make or create. And now I'm signing contracts to do books and stuff, and people expect to hear my voice on another topic. I laughed for 4 minutes. Why do you want to hear me talk for 30? You know what I'm saying? Like, it just felt so incredibly wild that moment right there for me ended up being like this do or die moment of, are you going to feel shame for the fact that you are just consistently drawn to new things, and you consistently create new systems to maybe get you to improve something or to make it more fun and enjoyable? Or are you going to actually lean into that pinball energy that you have? Are you going to like accept it and think for 1 second that maybe you were designed that way and it wasn't by mistake? Like, God knew what he was doing with me. Absolutely. And everything else has just been somebody else not understanding. And that's fine. None of us can understand the fullness of God. And if I'm just a small scratch of a mystery of his to you, I'm fine with wearing that label all the rest of my life. Fine.
Yeah.
God did it. I don't understand it either, but I don't think either one of us are supposed to.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I love that. So I'm sure before this video, because, you are still Candace in 2014, 15, right? The world knows you now.
Yeah.
And so I don't necessarily know life before that, but what I do know is that for at least the last 10 years, you have been making people laugh and helping people find joy. And you've written a book, and you are a comedian, and you've guaranteed always had that comedian in you. Now you just get to share it with the world. And you've just done some really amazing things. Like you said, speaker, author. How many books have you written?
So with Zondervan, I've published 2 books, and then I've also done 2 small group curriculum studies with them that have like videos that you could go on like Amazon Prime and buy the videos, and then buy the companion workbook and do it as individual or group curriculum. And then I've actually self-published some things that I like, a Christmas devotional called Encounter Advent. And then I have a newest one that I'm printing and putting together myself every order that comes through my website.
Wow.
But it's just simply called Jolt Your Joy. And it's 7 days of like tactile activities to get your joy back. And it doesn't have the mention, a lot like Esther, the book of Esther, doesn't mention God in it. It just is tactile things that you can do to reacquaint yourself with play,
Yeah.
and to like just remember that you're worthy of finding fun again. I think 10 years into this gig, what I see as my strength is being the fun and bringing fun to people, because what other people feel is frivolous or juvenile, I think that Jesus himself has already spoken to that. So if it's red letter, it's worthy. But he says, if any of you have faith like a child. I mean, like, here's the deal. One thing I know about kids is that they don't have to have the textbook, and they don't have to have all the answers and 9-hour conversations, what's right and wrong. They want to figure it out while they're playing.
Yeah.
And I feel like most of us adults would do ourselves a better service if we would figure out our walk with the Lord while we're playing.
Yeah.
Like literally just ignite those things that are joyful again. And so that's books wise what I've got. I got probably 1,000 more in me that may or may never come to pass, but we'll see. We'll see what the dopamine grabs the next day. But yeah, so I've been doing the book stuff for a while too.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Now, you've got a handful of things. I follow you, and I like on socials, and I just love watching your videos. No, I have not seen Chewbacca in 10 years, but I see you've got all sorts of things happening. We talked a little bit about Joy Camp, which I know is wrapping up, which is kind of an amazing thing. But you also have something else coming September of 2026 called Besties Weekend.
It's Bestie Weekend Ever.
Bestie.
TM. Trademark. I'm putting it out there.
Yeah,
Vocal.
yeah. Bestie
Weekend Ever.
Oh, tell me about that. What is that?
Well, honestly, this has been on my heart for about 4 years. I keep on going back to this idea of being in green rooms and walking on stages whenever I go speak somewhere and I'm invited, which, by the way, still reach out, ask me to come speak. I would love to come to your event. I'm not giving that up. I'm not hanging that hat up. But what I'm noticing is there's a pattern we're emulating amongst ourselves. We have a lovely little photo booth or merch table out in the lobby. We have these moments where we're going to get giveaways or a basket. We come in like cattle and we just sit down and we listen and we leave and we go eat, feed them, get them back in again. Maybe hear something sad, maybe hear something happy, but worship music, it's going to be a part of it. Some songs are going to be raucous. Most of them, 90% are going to be not. They're going to be sad. And then they're going to invite me to come speak right after it. They're like, you're going to bring comedy, but we just sang about God rending our hearts for our sin. So get on stage now, make us laugh. And I'm like, y'all are the worst. I feel like I'm being punked every time I go speak somewhere. And they're like, we're just going to have the worship sing before you come up and they'll pray. And I'm like, why? I'm starting with a joke about granny panties. Why? Tell me how I'm supposed to transition. Anyways, so I've had my own little frustrations with like the big C church, especially the evangelical Western church. Doesn't matter your denomination. We all kind of look the same, you know? And what I started seeing is that everything that I've been begging for people to join me with is play while you're walking with God, like play. There's not really been like a weekend that I could see us doing that. And so I thought, well, if I can't see it, then maybe I just need to make it happen. So I've been dreaming this up for 4 years, and this is going to be my first one. And I'm going to tell you right now, I need more people to register and sign up. Y'all got to get with it. You got to get on there and you got to come. And I mean, like, you literally can come from anywhere in the country. It's going to be about 20 minutes from the Dallas-Fort Worth airport. And there's hotels right there in our venue, but it's going to be so small. We're only going to be able to accept 100 people, and it's going to feel intimate. And it's going to be like, for example, you'll wake up on Saturday morning, and instead of you doing like a devotional time and then coming in and we're all just sleepy and we're going to sing songs. No, we're going to meet out on the lawn, and I'm going to have like Oprah's favorite things. I'm going to have Candace's favorite coffee from like my favorite coffee shop out here. They're going to have like tons of drinks, and we're going to go right immediately after that and go play pickleball.
I love that.
And if you can't play pickleball, even better, like even better. And if you feel like you're going to be winded just from the walk to the pickleball place, even better. Like, don't you second guess your abilities. So, and after that, we're going to go do something called Boulder Adventure Park. And it's going to be just either a high ropes course, a mediums ropes course, or if you don't want to get up on a rope anywhere or take a step, then I'm going to have you mine for gems in like this little stream, a river that they got. And it's all going to go with the biblical lessons that I'm teaching throughout the weekend. So every play moment actually coincides with a teaching moment to give you that tactile teaching lesson. And so I'm hoping that this is not just one and done. I'm hoping that literally it catches on like wildfire, and I can't book enough of these and create enough of these weekends in my next 10 years of life. Like, honestly, I want to bring women together, and I want them to find their fun again.
I love that. And so that's what you're doing, is you're having
Yeah.
fun, and you're helping teach women who have potentially lost it. Right.
Well, yeah. I don't know if they ever had it. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. A lot of wounds happen too early to us in life. A lot. And a lot of things happen to us to the point where we don't even have the skills to be able to cope or comprehend what we're supposed to do with our wounds. So that's not what this weekend is about, but I'm not going to ignore or dismiss it either. I will tell you, go find a therapist, like go with a professional and work that out, because I ain't that person for you. I will try to be. But I do think that a lot of people just don't even know if they've ever encountered what real fun and joy is. And can I just do one Jesus juke on you here with that statement?
Yeah.
If you don't know what real joy is and you say that you're a Christian, I would challenge you to really, really take a bigger step back and ask God about how deep is your faith? How deep is your actual faith in what you've declared with your mouth about what you believe about Jesus? Because Galatians tells us that joy is a fruit of the Holy Spirit. Like, it's not something you fake or force or manipulate. It just is overflowing from what God's already doing. So if you've never felt joy, I would dare say, go ahead and take some stock in the inventory of your faith relationship with God and just ask, is this real to me? Is this something that I'm really all in, or am I 1 foot in and figuring it out?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's really good. A Jesus juke. I have never heard that.
Not my phrase. I'm not TM that one. I got it from somewhere else. I can't remember, but not mine.
Love that though. That weekend sounds so fun, and which is the point, right?
Come on. What are you
amazing.
doing? Come on.
When is
Ashley?
it? September what?
It's like 24th through the 26th.
Oh, in Dallas?
2026. Yeah.
Area.
Yeah. Bring friends. And then tell me what your nicknames are, and I'll put them. I'll cricket them on the back of your shirt.
Girl, I love
swag
that.
Bag.
So we get shirts.
Girl, you're getting a whole. I'm literally hand making every piece of swag bag merch, and the things that I'm asking for some donations from some people that you're going to be like, what? And I'm going to be like, you're right. It's going to feel like Christmas.
Well, you're pretty crafty from what I've seen.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. Yeah. That's amazing. I love it. Okay. So, we will put a link too for signups for those that will tune into this before September, to sign up, if that's okay. Do you have like a link?
I would love that. Yeah, I do. I'll give it to you.
That's amazing. Okay. You can find that in the description of this podcast episode. Candace, I could sit and chat with you forever, because you feel like a friend that I, have known forever, even though we just met.
Yeah.
Sort of. we sort of just met.
Right.
But thank you so much for your time. I'd like to ask you one last question.
Sure.
You said early on in this episode that you were in your Esther year, walking into, before you knew everything was going to happen with Chewbacca and the internet and all the things. You were in your Esther year, and you asked the Lord, what do you want? What are you going to do with me? What do you want me to do, sort of thing? And you said, kind of trying to leave shame behind, and shame for things ideals that you had about, not being able to complete things or whatever, but you were kind of living in this shame. What would you tell the listener, in this episode that is dealing with living in, whether it's shame or fear or whatever it is that they're living, like to enter into their Esther moment? What encouragement would you give to them?
Well, let's break it down to the most simplest form. Okay. So if this is why being juvenile is fun. Let's go here. Because the Michael Scott quote from The Office, tell it to me like I'm 5. So
Yes.
this is where we're going to go with shame real quick. Um, if you do believe that there is an adversary, that if there literally is like an enemy that's what's to still, kill, and destroy, like Jesus talks about in John 10, then you have to know this of your enemy. Your enemy. He only has old tactics, old ways, and they're all familiar. So I would dare say everybody needs to start believing of the enemy that if you feel shame for 1 second, it's the oldest trick in the book. Like you literally are just jumping into this big, huge trap that's been set for generation after generation after generation after generation, that if he cannot get you to be productive, he's going to make you feel like you will self implode. If we could just get you to hate yourself and not love the Lord, that's all he's got to do. He doesn't have to do anything else.
Yeah.
Think about it. 9 times out of 10, half of the people that don't experience abundant life are living in their mind. They're not living anywhere else. They're not living out loud. They're not living externally. They're not feeling feelings. They're not allowing themselves to be present. They're just genuinely trapped inside their mind of what they think of themselves or what they think other people think of them. And that is the oldest trick in the book. And I see so many people just accepting it for what it is, as though it's not been around for generations and eons and ages.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just old. And if it's just old, then I just have to reason with you this way. It's dumb. It's dumb then to really say, well, I'm going to fall for it. Don't fall for it.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest counter that you could do and the greatest strength that you can have is it's just reflected in the Psalms, is how can a young man keep his way pure? By living according to your word. When you feel like you're just negatively just pounding yourself and self-talk is just unregulated and horrible, there's a word from the Lord that can counteract every single one of those.
Yeah.
When I'm not lovable. Nobody could love me after I've done this. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, go back to, for God so loved that he gave his only son. Whoever believes in him, you're not going to perish, but you're going to have everlasting life. Okay,
Yeah.
so I am loved. Got it. Whatever it is that you're assaulting yourself with, just stop. Stop. Like, it's so dumb to give into that. And I'm just going to challenge you. Get out of your head, start living out loud, and just stop believing the enemy. It's a dumb trick he's been using for years, and you're better than that. You are.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Candace. I appreciate you, and I absolutely love what you are doing. And maybe I'll see you in September in Dallas.
Oh my goodness. Real life friends, we are don't you threaten me with a good time. We're going to have so much fun if you come. Come on.
I love it.
Yeah, it would be a blast.
Thank you so much for your time, Candace. I appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate you as well.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Thank you so much for joining us for today's conversation on the Stories Unveiled podcast. We would love it if you would leave us a rating or a review. If you would like to learn more about Stories Unveiled and our events, go to storiesunveiledconference.com or follow us on Facebook or Instagram at storiesunveiled_. The Stories Unveiled podcast is created in partnership with KTSY and Barefoot Media Ministries. For more encouragement and other podcasts, visit ktsy.org. Have an incredible day and go live unveiled.